Welcome back to Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance. I thank you so much for joining us. We're joined by Jeffrey Prang. Jeff is a member of the West Hollywood City Council. He's also an announced candidate for the California State Assembly. Sir, I want to thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Glad to be here.
In Sacramento, they did something pretty serious, and they eliminated redevelopment agencies. Now, you are on a city council which presumably benefited from the use of redevelopment dollars.
Yes.
What is your sense of that move?
You know, West Hollywood has a very successful redevelopment agency. We've pumped millions of dollars back into the city in terms of developing affordable housing, improving our neighborhoods, creating jobs. You know, the state has the authority and the right to eliminate redevelopment, but I really believe it is penny wise and pound foolish. They may find some short-term revenues to help with this year's budget deficit, but they've really taken away the one important tool that cities have to promote economic development, to build jobs, and to improve neighborhoods.
Can cities do anything about it? Can West Hollywood, is there any way to keep a redevelopment agency going?
The state has provided some vehicles where some semblance of redevelopment can stay in place. To be honest, I don't think we have a real clear idea of the value of those and whether or not cities will actually want to opt in. Part of this opt-in process requires that certain dollars be diverted to those issues identified by the state, such as education.
Now, as you may know, the California League of Cities is planning to sue to
Yes.
try to keep redevelopment alive. They claim that Proposition 22 last fall, which prevented the state from rating local dollars, should prevent the elimination of redevelopment.
Well, that's the league's position. They believe that the state action was unconstitutional. They may be right, but we're still in this awkward position. We've been in the same position for years, where the state and cities are just going head to head, fighting to determine whose dollars belong to which agency.
What do you think about the plan generally to devolve power out of Sacramento and bring it down to counties and at some level cities?
Like so many answers in the world of government, the answer is it depends.
Right, of course.
If they're going to have a 100% shift of all those responsibilities to city and county government, but only give us 80 cents on the dollar, there's going to be some sacrifices in terms of service. And one of the reasons that the state wants to devolve some of those responsibilities is because they simply can't sustain those services financially. Well, cities and counties are probably in no better shape to manage the services at the level that people expect them than the state is.
But do you believe, I mean, there seems to be kind of this myth or a mythology, I don't know if it is, that by definition, if you devolve power, it will be done more effectively, more efficiently at the local level. Is that necessarily the case, sir?
Sometimes. It depends on where you devolve it to. There are some cities and counties which are in better ability to manage those services. West Hollywood is a fairly well-run city. We could probably absorb some of those responsibilities and do so well. But there's a lot of other cities in the south part of LA County that are really struggling, that are laying off and furloughing, and that have exhausted all of their reserves.
Well, let's talk about West Hollywood. You are a city that has balanced budgets. You have money in reserve. You're building libraries and parking structures. How are you able to do this while your neighbor, for example, Los Angeles, is really hurting?
Well, it's hard to compare West Hollywood to Los Angeles. Los Angeles is a city of 4 million people spread across hundreds of miles. West Hollywood is a city of about 40,000 people in about 2 square miles. We have a very strong, very diverse tax base. We have a very strong tourist-based economy, entertainment industry-based economy, design-based economy that generates a very strong revenue base. But we've also had very prudent management for the last 20 years.
Jeff Prang, I want to thank you so much for joining us. His name is Jeff Prang. He's a member of the West Hollywood City Council. If you'd like to watch more editions of Local Edition, you can sign on to Video on Demand Channel 1, click on Local, and then My Government. My name is Brad Pomerance. We're going to send you back to HLN.